Dear students, welcome to my IELTS live show. Today, we are going to talk about a recent experience from a student who recently sat for this test. His name is Shandipan. You can see him on the screen. Good evening, Shandipan.
Hello, sir.
So, can you tell me about your experience with the IELTS test? First of all, I would like to know which center did you choose for the IELTS test? Was it British Council or ITP?
I chose the ITP.
How was the experience with them?
The experience was good and the question was very easy in a perspective of all the tests that I have given.
No, I
It
meant
was very easy.
ITP, was it they are very friendly in terms of communicating with them and
Yes, they were
the
very
test center?
friendly. They were very friendly and they explained everything in a friendly way
Because there is always a
before the exam.
comparison between the
Yes, I know.
British Council and I, and students are very much in confusion which center to choose from. So, was ITP good enough to send you feedback whenever you need one? I know you applied before the pandemic era and suddenly got stuck, I think, but to face this situation in pandemic and they manage you.
They managed very well in the exam hall, and at that time I was very confused which center do I choose. So in that specific timeline, the British Council was closed when I tried to register, but the ITP was open and I have registered there and I did the exam in a very calmly way, and they were very friendly by doing the registration form and giving the information about the exam. They gave me everything and they were very friendly.
How much did it cost you?
It cost me about 8,700 taka.
18,000.
18,700.
Okay. And can you tell me about the test center? How big was the room? What was it like inside the test center? How many students?
So I gave the exam in Dhanmondi area. It was in Sobanbag in Daffodil University. Um, there were about 60 to 70 students almost who gave the exam that
Okay.
day.
Just to tell you about Shandipan, I've been teaching him for a couple of months. He didn't really have that much time to prepare, but I think he did pretty well. And we have really worked hard together. And now I would like to know how was his experience on the real test. Let me tell me about your reading module. What was it like? Was it very difficult? Was it more difficult than the Cambridge test that you do on the book?
Based on the exam, I have given uh, what I have given in the Cambridge test. It was very difficult, but in the center, which I find in the exam hall, main exam, it was very easy. The module one and module two was very easy, and module three is a little bit difficult. But who studied Cambridge books, who have studied them and given the test, it is like a cakewalk for them.
Did you leave any question unanswered? Because some
No,
students
no,
they
no.
leave many questions unanswered.
No, no, no. I didn't leave any question. I have read all the modules and I have read all the passages, and I didn't understand some specific things in module 3, but I have managed it, and I've which I find similar, I have given that answer. I didn't
That's good.
left behind any answer.
How was your time management? I know students, they struggle very hard and they run out of time. So did you manage to do well with the time?
So I have given time in module 1 like 15 minutes in module 1 and 20 minutes on module 2, and in module 3 it took me about 25 minutes. So it was very perfect for me. I have
Did you write the answers? Did you write the answer correctly on the answer paper, or you wrote it on the question paper first and then you transferred to the answer paper?
first uh, I have answered some questions directly to the answer sheet, because which answers where I'm sure of it, that I put it on the answer sheet. Those answers where I am 100% sure this cannot be changed, I directly put it on the answer sheet. And there were some answers that I were very confused. So I have first I will write it on the question paper, then I have answered it in the last moment of the exam.
What about vocabulary? How many words did you find you didn't know?
Mm, there were some, but it was like 10 to 20 words that I find it very unusual.
Did it make very difficult to answer the questions?
No, no, no. They were not very difficult. They were very similar words that I have find it in the other test that I have given in Cambridge books or in a Macker book. But it was very unexpected to find these things, especially in module 3.
All right. So what were the question types that you faced in all passages? For example, summary completion.
Okay, first of all, there were in the first paragraph, I find that true or false, then hidden heading matchings, then comes the with clues and without clues. In the second passage, there were multiple choices and uh, what was it called? Uh, I think some summary and fill in the blanks were given, and then there was a box of which was very easy. They wanted to know which year the ship was built. There was a specific passage on it, that shipbuilding industry. So they wanted to know how which year the ship was built or which year they have sailed. This type of question. In module 3, there were hidden matching and true or false and some fill in the blanks.
Maybe there was a clue inside the passage. Maybe you didn't notice, but uh, sometimes they use different words instead of numbers. Instead of the numbers, they will say late century, late 19th century, early 19th century, something
Yes,
like that.
yes. There were BC and something AD. They used there in
Yes.
the
So
passage.
you have to calculate, and they will not really give you
Yes, yes.
the
They will
numbers.
not give you the appropriate numbers.
Yes, yes. Then that will become like a narration in our school textbook.
Yes.
But you know what? Most people doesn't know that the reading test is not only a reading test. It's a kind of IQ test. at some point. Did you ever
Yes.
feel it? They test your
Yes, I
IQ.
have.
They test your
Ye-
not only the words or grammars and vocabulary. No, not like that. Sometimes they test your intelligence. Can you interpret the meaning of the lines? Or sometimes you have to calculate, sometimes you have to judge, and sometimes you have to find a way to get the answer. They do these tricks all the time. Don't you think so?
Yes, they do. They use a little bit your IQ. They just test your IQ a little bit
Yes, not too much. Well,
because
it's not an IQ test
yes,
anyway. It's
it's an
IELTS
English
test.
test. That's why they use a little bit calculation in a very manner way.
Yes, yes, that's true. So, from your experience, what strategy for reading should we take? What I mean by that, shall we read the whole passage first? Shall we just search for the answer by reading the question, or shall we go through paragraph by paragraph and answer the question? I mean, reading one paragraph and then answer the question. What should we do? Or in your experience, I know British Council teaches us not to read the whole passage, but to go for the answer and search by the keyword. And there are other trainers who would suggest you read half of the passage or full passage, something like that. And in my opinion, you should read a couple of paragraphs first and then you answer. What did you do? And in your experience, what the students should do?
So I know there were some people who suggest that you should read the whole passage, but I have done similar things like first I did read the questions and then look for some keywords, and then in the heading matching, I wanted to first I did was I first I read the smallest passage, then I went to the bigger one in a heading matching situation because there were some passages which were very small in sizes. I read them first to find some similarities to the question, then I answered it. So I eliminate some options in that case so I can get the bigger one later.
All right, that's good to know. Uh, the reason I asked you this question is that the students are confused about how to go through the reading, and because they get different suggestions from different trainers, and there are difference in the opinion.
If
Probably the
the
trainers.
student is good in reading, if the students are good in reading, if you are good in reading, you should read the whole passage. There's no doubt about that. And you can answer it by memorizing it. If you're not so good at it, you just look the question and what did they want. You can find some keywords there which were very similar to the words, and you can answer it. But there will be some problems if you don't know the vocabulary. So my suggestion is you should read or at least two passage at a time, then move to the question.
Now, if you remember, I've told you to answer some questions from your memory, just to use your memory, so
Yes,
that you don't have to
yes,
search
yes,
through your answer. How many questions did you answer
yes.
from your memory to save time?
I have done this at least in 8 to 10 questions.
That's good. That's good. I mean, you can't remember everything anyway. Eight to
Yes,
ten
I
questions.
know.
If you can do it from your memory, that takes probably 2 minutes. I think it took
Yes,
only about 2 minutes just to answer 10 questions.
that's how I have saved time.
That saves a lot of time. Trust me on this.
Yes, yes, I know.
That's good. So let's go to the writing module. How much struggle was it to finish it on time? Task one
It
and
was
task two.
very, it was in the task one, it was very easy in a task one, but when I saw the time, I said, oh shit, because of the I used 25 minutes to spend there, which I usually don't. I take only
For
20
task
minutes
one,
on it. Yes,
for
for
task one,
task
you
one,
took 25 minutes.
yes, I took 25 minutes because I explained it in a very detailed way. So it took me a lot of time. But when I saw the clock, then I realized that I have done some mistake, that I need to write it in a very fully speed way. So in task two, I started writing, and when I finished it, the examiner said, "Put your pen down." It was in a nick of time.
All right. So you were just
I
on
have
time.
finished it. Yes, I was.
Just on time.
It was like 1 second left. It was like 1 second left. I still remember
That's
it.
that's fabulous. That's fabulous. Uh, I've heard from other students who were still writing, even the invigilator. They were saying, "Put your pen down," and she was still writing and continued
Yes,
after a couple of seconds or
there
after
will be a problem for
hours.
that, because if you don't put the pen down, if you don't put the pencil down, the examiner will terminate your paper and you will
All
not
right.
get the result. Because I was
Yes,
in a
the
front
result
row
might
seat,
be, the result might be withheld if you don't
because
follow the instruction.
yes, because I was in a front of everyone, I was in front of the examiner, so
You
they
were the
can
unlucky
see
one.
me that yes, I am the unlucky one.
Always in front. It's not good to be in front
Yes,
all the time. Sometimes it's
yes,
better to be behind of everybody so that you can hide yourself.
yes. So they can easily see me that I am writing or not.
Yeah. So bad luck for you. Never mind. Next time you will sit behind, hopefully. I don't think you will need to sit for the test next time anyway.
No, I don't think so. I sure hope
Uh,
not.
yeah, we hope not. And tell me about your experience with task one. Was it very difficult?
So in task one, they have given me a bar chart. It was
Just one
about
bar chart?
yes, just one bar chart based on traffic rules in Australia, traffic situation from 1999 to 2010, I think.
How many
So
information did you choose to write about? How many years?
mm,
3, 4?
there were 11 years total.
Okay. How
So
many
and
years
there
did you
were
write?
I have written all the years. Like I have given 10
All
years. 10
all
no.
the
No, no,
years?
no. I have given, yes, I have given all the years, including there were some cities name. The country's cities name
Okay.
were present there. So in there were 11 years in total. That's why it took me a lot of time.
No,
Like it took me about 25 minutes.
you're not supposed to write all the years. You're supposed to write, let's say 3, 4, 5 maximum. It shouldn't go more than 4. If you write all the years, it's gonna
No, no,
take
no.
forever.
I didn't write all the years in a specific way. There were some similarity years there. Like in 2003 to 2005, there were similar traffic things happening. So I have written in a one line to 2003 to 2004. I have written like this. They were same.
All right.
So that's how I write it.
Did you manage to finish it in 150 words? Did you count the words?
Yes, I have counted the words. It was about 180 words.
180. All right. How did you count the words? One by
I've
one?
counted the word. No, no, no. I have counted the word how many line that I have given and how many word in a line.
All right, that's good. So you are lucky that you didn't have two, three bar charts or one bar chart, pie chart, and then a table, and which makes things complicated. You're lucky this time. Don't you think so?
Yes, the question was very simple.
Yes, one bar chart makes things very simple. Uh, so let's talk about task two. What was the topic sentence?
The topic was about the plastic surgery, which everyone does it on the face. Do you agree with that or disagree with that? So I have given the disagreement and I have given some health issues statements that it causes our health very unnatural way, and the information they cannot relate with their relatives, or they cannot be recognized. The criminals can get away with this kind of things. I've given all the examples.
All right. Tell me about the writing structure. How many paragraphs were there?
There were four paragraphs.
Strictly.
There were four paragraphs. First, there were introduction. Then comes the why I agreed to this statement and why should I disagree with this statement. This comes later, and then comes the detailed way with the example and everything there. Then comes the conclusion.
That's good. And tell me, how did you manage to write the introduction?
So I have write the introduction like this. Uh, this
Paraphrase?
is
Did you
this
paraphrase?
paraphrase. I paraphrased it.
Okay. All right. And what about the conclusion? What was the first line that you used for conclusion?
Conclusion was in an overall statement that I have used. The overall statement was this. So I disagree with this statement, and this is why everyone should not do these kind of things. So they can get more human as possible, and it is a gift from our mighty God, so you should not change it. I've given some examples also.
Did you put example in the conclusion or in the main
No,
body?
no, 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 no. I just put some statements there, not
Okay.
example, fully detailed example.
Was there any real life example in the main body in your
Yes,
argument?
there were some real life experience. Like in I have read it somewhere that in 2016 there was a female person who came to Thailand to do some plastic surgery on her face, but she could not come back to the USA because the passport she had was not matching with her current face after the plastic surgery. So this it
Yeah,
was a real life incident.
that's
So
good.
I put it
It's
on
very
the
crucial.
passage.
It's very crucial that
Yes.
you use real life experience or any example, any statistics or data, whatever you can add up your argument. It makes your essay rich and it helps you to get a good score. Most students are quite unaware about it. So
So they should
let's
use
go
them.
to listening section. I know you are good
Yes.
at listening. You hear very well,
Yes.
and you are getting good score in listening. That's pretty good. And we all know listening is the module where you can really get good score. No matter how good you are
Yes.
in writing, it's very difficult to get 7 or something like that, 7 plus.
Yes.
But in
Yes.
listening, it's like a golden opportunity to get a good score over there, and which will help you to get overall good score because it comes on average. So tell me about your experience in listening module. Was it difficult, easy?
The listening module was very easy. The students should just keep calm and focus on the question. They should first they will give some time to read the question, and then they will start playing the tapes. Like there was a map in my question in a part 2 task 2. There was a map about some conference hall, and it was very easy to find. You should just focus on it and read the question. They will give you time and you have to memorize the question. Just memorize the things that are written there. That's it. They will tell you everything.
Okay.
So this is how I've done
And
it. But there were some possibilities to puzzled up in that module 3, because they will tell you very fast. They will tell you very quickly and you have to stick there. If you miss some answers, just don't wait for them. Don't wait for that. You'll never gonna find it. Just move on to the next question. If you missed one or two questions, just move on. In the last moment, you should memorize what they told you, read the question. You can also give that answer.
was there any
And
unknown words that you didn't get?
no, no, no. In a listening module, I didn't find any unknown words there.
That's
But they have to be specific about it. They will give some answers like A, B, C, D. Wait, you first have to write it on a question. In a break, they will give you some time to read the question. In that moment, you should write transfer it, because I have seen some students, they couldn't finish because of this time. So you should transfer some little questions on an answer sheet.
how many speakers were there in the part 4 audio?
There were only one person. No, no, sorry. There were two persons actually. One was a interview person who was taking the interview, and there was a CEO of the company.
You were lucky this time because sometimes uh, there are three
They
persons.
had 4 to 3
Yes,
persons. I know that.
yes. In the worst case, there are 4 persons, but usually or in
Yes.
most cases, it's about 3 persons who are discussing about a certain thing. And because it's 3 persons, you were confused with the name, who said who who said what, you know. So you're
Yes.
lucky. That's good. And in other 3 parts, all of them were one speaker, right?
Yes. No,
Okay.
no, no. In a
So on
part
the
two, there
whole,
were 2 persons. On the part two, there were 2 persons. They were discussing about something. Like there was a female person and there was a male person. So you can know the difference.
all right. Okay. So how much you're expecting to score in in the listening module,
In a listening model, I am expecting 7 to 8.
right? That's good enough. Hopefully you'll get it. Now let's talk about the speaking session. When did it happen? Was it just after the test, main test?
It was after that day, after the main test day.
The following day. Okay. Okay. In the same center?
No, no, no. It was at Gulshan,
All right.
the main
So
IDP center.
how long did they take the test on you? How much time did you need to finish it up?
Uh, they didn't take much long actually. I was there for only 10 to 15 minutes. They just called me in and I sat there for 7 to 8 minutes, I think, the
Okay.
speaking in a speaking test.
Okay. And what were the part one questions like?
First, there was some basic information like what is your name, where do you live, what type of building do you live in? Do you live in a home or an apartment? Where do you like to live in future, in a home or apartment? What is the reason for that? So these were the
Okay.
basic question, and then they give you the cue cards. In my case, there is a cue card called social media. What social media in your country is famous? Why is it famous for? And what was the most favorite post that you have given?
So what
Then
was the
they
cue card look like? I mean, was it on a book or just a printed paper? What was it like?
no, it was based on a social media platform.
No, I meant the cue card. Was it on a not the subject? I'm talking about was it like a page, printed page, or was it like
It was a
in a
printed
book?
page. It was a
Print-
printed page. Yes, it was
Okay,
a printed page, and they will give you a paper and a pencil to write
to take
some
note.
points down. Yes,
Okay. So what did you say about the social media?
I've said that in our country, Facebook is very much popular, and some where it they where do they sorry, I didn't remember what I said there, but
Okay, that's
I
okay.
said that Facebook.
It was
And
about the social
what did
media
I
and the
post? What did I post? What is the memorable
okay.
post that I've given? And why does it people use it? I've said something about the business things and some to get some sponsors, make some videos, post
So
something about your favorite
after
moments.
after the cue card, did he ask you any related questions on the cue card?
Yes, yes. They have asked me. There was an incident that he have asked me about what is the favorite sites in your country. What are the favorite sites in your country? Social media sites. So basically, he didn't say the social word. So I have recognized it in our country. There was some mosques, some parks. I have given him these answers, but then he stopped me and told that no, social media sites. Then I have
All right.
given him the proper answer.
Yeah. Before Facebook came up, a site word meant a location, maybe house or
Yes,
building or but
yes.
now it has different uses. A site can be www.hp.com or
yes.
facebook.com. That's a site. Yes. That's a new usage.
So they have some counter question. They have asked some counter questions like, what age in your country? What type of people use this social media platform? Do the teenage are very influenced about this platform? Why they use it? And how can you earn some money from it? Why is it very beautiful? Why is it very popular? Why is it very popular in your country? They have said this kind of questions. So somehow I think I will get 6 to 7, I think.
All right. Considering that it's your first time, that's good enough.
Yes,
And I know you've been rushing all along because your semester is very nearby, so you don't have time that much
yes.
to study. So I guess that's good enough, and that's good enough for your admission, right?
Yes. Yes.
So altogether, what's your expectation about your score, your overall
Sorry, I
expectation?
didn't get that.
What's your expectation about your overall score?
Okay. My expectation is that I will get 6 to 6.5, I think, overall, because I've done very well in this exam. I think I have given much more complicated exams in the past, in some
Uh,
test that you have given me.
from from my experience, I can tell you will get at least 6.5. This is I'm sure. Usually, whenever I predict about the students, I get very close. Most of the time, like he gets what I say, and you'll get at least 6.5, maybe 7, maybe 7.
That
There
will
is a
be
big
very great.
opportunity.
I hope so.
Maybe
I
7.
hope so.
I'm optimistic, but let's see what happens. And I think you didn't mess up in the writing. And you did good in the listening. You are at speaking. So reading, you're kamsi kamsa. That means bad, not good, good enough, in the middle. So altogether, maybe you'll get, hopefully, at least 6.5. That's challenge.
Yes, I sure hope so.
So let's hope for the best, and you'll get your score in couple of weeks, I guess.
Yes, my score will publish in 26, I think, on this month.
Okay. Thank you very much, Chandipan, for your time. Uh,
Thank
I'm
you.
proud to have you on this show, and hopefully we'll meet very soon again. So
Yes,
for
we will.
the students, today I've arranged to meet Chandipan because he recently sat the test, and what you have heard from him will give you an idea about the test. And what we have learned from him that this test was not as dreadful as you find on the books that you read. In the
Yes.
textbooks like Cambridge, which is very difficult for the new students, especially whenever they face these books, they get very frustrated and they think in the real test, the difficulty level will be just the same. But it's not always
Yes, I got very
like that.
frustrated in the beginning. I got very frustrated in the beginning, but when I gave the test, I thought it is very easy to give.
And
I
you know
can
what?
do this very much in a calm way.
I'm always reluctant to suggest the student this Cambridge book, but his book is so popular and everybody buys it before I get to them, and I can suggest them any other textbook. But what will happen? But my suggestion is don't think that the difficulty level of Cambridge IELTS book will be just the same in the real test. The real test might be easier. And secondly, not all the tests are the same. Sometimes, once in a while, in some modules, the test gets difficult. Sometimes it gets easier. It's not universal. It's not always the same thing. So things can go up and
Yes.
down all the time. But never lose your hope just by going through these Cambridge tests, which are most of the time very painful and difficult. So be hopeful and study and work hard, then you will get a good score.
Yes.
So thank you very much once again. And today, and right at this moment, we'll wrap up this edition. And on another day, we're going to be on another live show on another topic. Thank you very much to all my audience. Good night.
Thank you.